Workers' compensation is a very technical legal area that requires the expertise of an attorney who regularly practices in workers' compensation law. There are two basic types of injuries that we see in a workers' compensation case. The first one is to a scheduled member, such as an arm or a leg or a hand. The second is to the body as a whole, which could be multiple injuries to multiple scheduled members, or it could be something such as a back injury. When the workers' compensation doctor that the injured worker is directed to has determined that the injured worker is at his or her maximum medical improvement, a rating will be issued. This is a very significant point in time in a workers' compensation case. At the time that the rating is issued, there will be a calculation made based on the the injured worker's workers' compensation rate and the impairment that is given. When those are added together, there will be a figure based on the workers' compensation charts of how much the insurance company is valuing what your case is worth. The question is are you stuck with that rate? Are you stuck with that rating? And are you stuck with the amount of money that the workers' compensation insurance company is offering? The answer is no. While the rate is normally not a flexible amount, the rating and the amount that you're entitled to is really based on a lot of factual criteria. For instance, if the injury is to the body as a whole, or to multiple scheduled members at the same time, there are factors that the deputy or that the fact finder will look to determine what that compensation should be. For instance, they will look at, and I'm reading from a case that describes 16 factors that the judge or the workers' compensation deputy commissioner will look at. One is they're going to look at the employee's medical condition prior to the injury. What that means is prior to the injury, you may have had a pre-existing condition, but you never knew about that pre-existing condition. If the workers' compensation injury is said to have aggravated or lit that injury up, activated the injury, it's a workers' compensation injury. They look at what the condition is of the injured worker prior to the incident and what their injury is after the incident, after maximum medical improvement has been reached. The second criteria that the court will look at is the employee's medical condition, again, immediately after the injury. They'll also look at the situs of the injury, meaning where the injury is located. Is this a shoulder injury? Is it a back injury? Is it a hand injury? Is it something that goes into both two extremities? They'll then look at the severity of the injury and the length of the healing period. The work experience of the employee prior to the injury, the work experience of the employee after the injury, the potential for rehabilitation, the employee's qualifications intellectually, emotionally, and physically, earnings prior and subsequent to the injury, age, education, motivation, the functional impairment as a result of the injury, the inability because of the injury to engage in employment which is the employee is fitted, loss of earnings caused by a job transfer or reasons related to the injury, and lastly, the employer's refusal to give any sort of work to the impaired employee or make a reasonable accommodation. So these are factors in addition to the rating that the doctor gives you that is looked at. Also in a workers' compensation case, once the directed care or the employer's doctor gives you a rating, you are by law in Iowa allowed to get your own rating of a doctor of your own choosing that is paid for by the employer or their insurance company. That is called an independent medical examination. Your lawyer will be able to choose that doctor, and that doctor will be someone who will give an objective opinion as to what your real rating should be. So the fact that you get a rating and you get a number or a settlement offer from the insurance company does not mean you have to live with that rating or live with that offer. And even after the rating is given, these factors that I've described to you are criteria that may boost up what your compensation should be, even above that which your doctor has rated you. These are important things, important factors, factual determinations that are evidentiary. It's evidence that is submitted to a deputy workers' compensation commissioner, and ultimately a decision can be reached that is fair, just, and equitable.